The Book of Judges, a story of redemption and rebellion. The Book of Judges is a part of the Old Testament that tells the story of Israel's history after they entered the Promised Land. It is a story of rebellion and redemption, where the Israelites continually turned away from God and faced the consequences of their actions. This summary will explore the key themes and verses of the Book of Judges, and how they relate to the Christian faith today. As a Christian theologian, I believe that the Book of Judges is an important part of the Bible that speaks to us today. It is a story of human rebellion and God's faithfulness, and it reminds us of the consequences of turning away from God. The Book of Judges begins with the death of Joshua, the leader who had led the Israelites into the Promised Land. After Joshua's death, the Israelites began to worship other gods and turned away from God's commands. As a result, they faced oppression from other nations, and they cried out to God for help. In response, God raised up judges to deliver the Israelites from their enemies. One of the key verses in the Book of Judges is found in chapter 2, verse 16, where it says, "Then the Lord raised up judges, who saved them out of the hands of these raiders." This verse speaks to the cycle of rebellion and redemption that occurs throughout the Book of Judges. The Israelites rebelled against God, faced oppression, cried out to God, and were delivered by judges that God had raised up. Another important verse is found in chapter 17, verse 6, where it says, "In those days Israel had no king, everyone did as they saw fit." This verse highlights the problem of moral relativism that existed in Israel during this time. The Israelites were not following God's commands, but were doing what they thought was right in their own eyes. The Book of Judges is a story of human rebellion and God's faithfulness. It reminds us of the consequences of turning away from God and the importance of following His commands. As Christians, we can learn from the Israelites' mistakes and strive to follow God's will for our lives. We can also take comfort in the fact that God is faithful even when we are not, and that He is always ready to forgive us and deliver us from our enemies. May the Book of Judges inspire us to be faithful to God and to seek His will in our lives.